Hey everyone, this is Minesh and welcome back to another episode of Modernizing Biz podcast. On this episode, we have Vipul with us. Vipul is one of the founder at Requel. All of you might have used Requel products somehow other day. You might be using it on a daily basis. I'm super excited for this conversation because Vipul, I know one thing about you that from the beginning, right, you have grown Requel from bootstrapping. So what was your journey like? Little bit, if you can sum up in under 1 minute about your journey of bootstrapping, so that would be great.
Hi, Manish. Thank you for having me on your show today. Bootstrapping is a wonderful journey. I come from a business family where we've always, traditional businesses have always been run while being bootstrapped. Frugality is the name of the game, and that's how we started Requel, and we built it like that with all heart and soul, keeping all everything in check, keeping every metric in check, expenses, revenues, and our break-even points, knowing those numbers pretty well, and being very capital efficient and working everything towards that. I think that focus has really helped in building the business profitably right from the first year.
So one thing I want to ask, this one question, like you either always have option to go and raise fund in your initial period when you're launching your firm, or you go and you start in a bootstrap mode. So why you choose the bootstrapping side and why you not go and start raising funds just like the other company that is currently happening in the market?
Um, See, uh, when you start seeing initial traction and you start seeing results, initial days are filled with a lot of learnings. You end up making a lot of mistakes. You learn from them. Uh, you're still figuring out your product market fit. You're understanding your consumers better with every passing day. And if you're able to survive and scale up your business slowly but profitably, I think my suggestion to everyone would be to keep it bootstrapped, because those initial few years will give you a lot more understanding about who you really are, what your brand really is, what your customers want from you, how can you build that connect with your customers, and once and then you reach a certain scale and you have a lot of you have a better understanding of all these things. I think that could be a better time for you to raise funds and expand, if at all your business requires it, not just for the sake of raising funds.
Yeah. I totally agree to the point that, like, I think so. Currently, what is happening in the market, it becomes a kind of a mandatory thing for a firm to go and raise a fund, but there is an always option of bootstrapping. So I was seeing the one thing that that you touched is the customer adaptability, right? So when you have achieved that customer adaptability, what was your journey with Requel like? From what was that moment where you realized that now we are into the inclined growth stage and now we're about to grow from that particular point of time? So when this happened?
I think it is very important to understand how your products and your core offerings are being experienced by your customers and how well they receive them. Um, Once you get a sense of it through your revenue numbers, through your customer retention rates and repeat rates, you get a sense that now it's a matter of reaching a wider section of the audience to scale up. And that's what we have followed at Requel, and we've always used our profits to fund the growth of the company. And it was just the initial capital that I as the founder put in the company, or my family. And after that, it's been how the business has been able to fund its own growth through its own profits. And I think that, and there's a real joy of doing it that way. That you have to make money to grow this business, and otherwise we know that last couple of years have been very very friendly in terms of fundraising. There is There has been a lot of money pouring into the market, and businesses have done really well, I must say, by raising funds, and they have scaled up really well. Uh, and Yeah, that's my take on it.
Yeah. So, see, we did touch the point of raising funds. Like, what's go be after that is managing the fund. So, I would say a lot of businesses and even the D2C firms struggle when it comes to managing the fund. Like, a D2C comes up with a lot of baggage. Like, it's eats a lot of money, right? Again, the competition factor. There's n number of department attached, right? So, what was your strategy? Like, if you can break down like what is currently, if you can sum up, if you can just do a comparative study, right, this is one thing that we can do to save funds, but this is an optimum level, right? There's some necessary expenses that you need to do to run their organizations to make it grow. How you tap those areas which are not best fit to invest in the funds and managing the funds?
See, firstly, whether it's your own money or whether it is your investors' money, you cannot treat it differently. You cannot be at the one should not be at the liberty of treating investors' money with a casual attitude. Money is money after all. It's a very important resource for the business, and helps the business scale and serve its all the stakeholders. That is, its employees, its customers, its vendors, and in that sense, the business has a far greater responsibility in itself. So the funds have to be used very, very carefully. And whether it's your own money that you've put in, whether it's the business's money that the business is turning around, or you've raised funds from your investors. Um, uh, I just lost thought of what was the second part of your question.
The second part was it like how you differentiate that this is the best fit to invest in and this is not, so that you can go on the stage of managing funds in a smart manner.
I think it is once you're running the show, you know, where the business requires funds to expand certain areas, whether it is putting money in R&D or putting money in new product development, or scaling your team size, building in-house capabilities, or creating assets, whether creative or stuff like that. Uh, Slowly and steadily, as the business grows, you want to experiment with a lot more things. You want to try out a lot more things, and these experiences and these experiments and these investments, when wisely made, they improve the health of your business, make it more agile and robust at the same time.
Perfect. So you have been into this D2C industry for a very long time. Like, so what's your take on Indian D2C industry if you compare it with the global scenario? So where it is going from previous, let's take an example from 5 years versus now and next 5 years. How's the journey going to look like with D2C industry?
See, I always tell my team, D2C is has to be just like your neighborhood grocery shop, and the kind of connect that shopkeeper has with you, your family, that connect that that builds, and you have that comfort and have that trust of shopping from that shop. Direct to consumer actually means that it's in the real sense, if you go to think about it, uh, you know uh, why would we not then not sell through D2C platforms, or just sell through marketplaces, or be it online or offline channels? D2C gives you that advantage of building that connect with your customer directly, communicating to them, understanding what your customer really needs, and building that brand resonance with your customers. I think that's what Indian D2C players have done really, really well. Right from the beginning, and even the future looks very, very promising. Setting up a D2C in today's age is no challenge at all, with ecosystem, being so much in favor of D2C businesses, be it logistics, be it reaching out to your customers across the nation. It's a very convenient way of building and starting your business, but at the same time, D2C businesses have great responsibility in serving their customers very, very personally, I would
Yeah.
say. And I would go ahead and reiterate those terms that build that connect with your customer. That's why you are D2C.
Yeah. So growing a D2C brand, building a D2C brand, starting is easy, like because of you touch the point, ecosystem is already here. But what's one thing that you find is the biggest challenge in Indian D2C industry? If you can highlight that, and if that thing has opened, the scenario will be changed more deeply. So if you can touch that point.
See, when D2C brands, uh, stop offering their products as commodities,
Hmm.
is when D2C brands will really succeed. What is it that your brand is offering beyond products to your customers? What is it? uh, why should the customers buy from you in the first place? Can you tell them why you started this business in the first place? Is Do you have a very strong reason? Is Does the brand have a strong purpose to serve, which is beyond profits and beyond money? you know uh, if that can be communicated very well by any brand to its customers, they can really build that relationship with the brand.
Amazing. Great. So, like, yeah, I agree to that point that we also seen a sometimes ecosystem that a lot of brands being running just behind the funds, right? So, raising funds, generating sales, managing them, growing. But there's not the motive that I have attached. If that comes up, that mixture, then it becomes a killer combination, I would say.
Sometimes being outside, uh, looking at it from the fences, one may feel that businesses are in the business of valuation, but you ask founders, it is never really that. They have started something, they build something with all their blood, sweat, and heart. uh, I'm sure no founder is starts a business with the aim of raising money and taking money home and closing down the business one day. uh, that's never the motive behind starting a business by any founder, but it may appear so to outsiders who are sitting at the fence, who don't really know what courage it takes to start a business. And uh, so I would slightly disagree to that, but I would also respect your uh, point of view on that.
Yeah, amazing. Thanks for clearing that thought as well. Like again, from the outside, feels something like that. So, going to the end of the conversation, want to know more about your ways you generate sales, right? So, D2C brand, you've been operating at 80% online, right? What's the scope of retails for D2C brands? So, I was reading an article that they're talking about the retails is also coming back, right? So, is that a true? What's the new thing that's happening in retail and why it's coming back again?
Before I answer this question, another thing to add to the last point I said, my take on that is, my support towards founders who raise funds is, uh, even though I have never raised funds, even then I feel that way. Yeah. Coming to your this question, you know, retail, whether it is offline or online, is probably just a medium, and you know two types of convenience options for end consumer to go for. For some people, it is convenient to buy in offline channel, and for some, it is very convenient to buy online. There may be slight overlap, but largely sometimes we have also seen and studied and researched that these two customer segments are quite different. So, you tap into different customer segments and cohorts by being offline and online at the same time. So, omni-channel presence helps you in that manner. Uh, if it is what your how your brand what your brand really is at the core, and what are its core offerings, is what really defines your really brand's relationship with its customers. And then the medium or the point of sale doesn't really matter.
Amazing. I'll just okay. We'll start once again. So there was a, like a light power cut. Break will break from here. Okay. So now, so you touched the point for the retailings and everything. So what is your strategy? What's your thought about performance marketing? Like what happens in performance marketing, and what you've been doing through it, and how is that help you in shaping your brand?
I think performance marketing is a wonderful thing to have. We are blessed to be living in this age of social networks, where the platforms are in place for brands and businesses to reach out through their core target audiences. And these platforms have become so intelligent, and with the help of AI and machine learning, that the targeting is so precise, and uh, they can reach to your target customer very, very quickly. And it is then upon the brands and the businesses to communicate what they are offering, uh, have the right offer the right products, services, find your product market fit, build your core offerings around that. And performance marketing can give you that scale very well. With performance marketing, things to keep in mind is always to keep a close tab on your numbers, scale it profitably, know your audiences very well, structure your campaigns well. Those are mere hygiene factors, I would say. And yeah, it can really give you great results and give you that scale that you're always looking for.
Amazing. So one last question: what 2023 is gonna look like? Like you're already done. We are done with 2 months. What's next? Upcoming 10 months look like for Equal?
So we have a lot of new product offerings lined up for this year, and we want to build relationship with our customers even stronger from here on. And these are the two things that look very, very promising for us in this year. And hopefully, we our consumers like what we bring in this year. Yeah, that's about it.
Cool. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for pulling a lot of value. I hope I've learned a lot of things. There was an eye-opening moment in between of the podcast. I hope a lot of eye-opening moments will visible to audience when they're gonna watch this episode. Thank you so much, Vipul, on being on Modernizing Biz podcast.
Thank you, Manish.